Welcome to the Executive Presence Spotlight Series, where we shine a light on how executive presence is actually generated. Hi, my name is Joe Kwon, the Connection Counselor, and if you've been with us so far, congratulations, we've made it halfway through our 10-part series. So this is episode 6. So I'm curious, have you ever had a situation where you go to someone, either a coworker, a boss, or maybe even a friend or family member, and you bring to them a concern, a challenge, an issue, a problem, right? And you say, I really think you need to know about this. And it may not be about them specifically, but it's something that affects them, right? It's something that they should know about because it will, in your mind, be important to them. And you're trying to do the right thing um, and share with them about it, right? Even though it might not be in maybe your short-term best interest, right? Because you're not sure if they might get upset or blame you. And then they're just kind of like, ah, I can't be bothered with that. Or don't worry about it, right? How does that make you feel, right? When this person is just totally checked out of something that's very concerning. And even if they're right, and maybe even if you've overestimated the sort of criticality of the thing, it's less about that professional judgment or personal judgment and more about that attitude, right? That where they're just like, they can't be bothered or you're being silly. And they're really not sort of thinking about like, wow, you really have this issue. You're bringing it to me. Let's make sure I understand correctly what's going on. So maybe I'm missing something, right? So I can understand that more fully. So that quality, right, of disengagement is the opposite of the next of our 6 degrees of executive presence, which is the state of being engaged, right? When you have a leader and they are truly engaged in their team, in the project, in the company, it really inspires confidence in their ability to lead in a given situation because they are fully aware and fully recognizing all the information that's coming in, right? Both because when people tell them, they're paying attention and listening and responding, and also because even when people are not telling them, they are actually seeking that information and thinking about it and asking people and checking on things because that's their state of being. They're very engaged. So I like to think of it as gears, right? Engaging gears, right? When you're an engaged leader or teammate, that means when someone else that's also on your team has an issue or something's turning, you by default automatically are affected by that. You don't get to not be affected by that because you are engaged. And here's the benefit. The benefit of that is when you are engaged, when you turn, right, and something changes for you, your team and other people, it also affects them and they pay attention and are willing to help because they are also engaged with you. So you don't get to be engaged or expect or demand engagement from others if you yourself are not engaged. So you may be wondering, well, Joe, how do I know? How can I tell if I'm really engaged? Like I think I'm engaged, but I get my 360 feedback back and it seems like people don't think so. It's a great question. And there's a really like dead simple way to know whether you're truly engaged and if whether people perceive you as engaged. Because that's really what it's all about, right? It's not just about what you think, like it has to coincide with what other people feel about you, right? Because we're talking about executive presence, not executive delusion. So the real easy way to know is ask yourself, how many problems come my way, right? When there's a problem, who do people go to? Do people go to me or do they go to someone else? Do they bring them to me right away or do they delay, right? Because they're scared to bring me a problem or they don't want to bring me a problem until the very last chance where, okay, now I really got to tell this person, right? What's going on there is when you are not engaged, you essentially train people or sent out a signal that, look, don't bring these problems to me because I won't do anything about it and I won't respond and I won't care, or maybe I'll bite your head off, right? So that really removes the incentive for anyone to come to you with a problem unless, they're afraid they're going to lose their job or lose their friendship or there's some legal problem. And then, of course, they will overcome that, right? But truly engaged people are constantly being brought problems, right? Because they know that you are the type of leader that when the problem is brought to you, you'll understand its impact, you will engage with it, and you will work to fix it, right? So that's an easy way to think about. And if you've never heard a problem from anyone, think about that. Like, why is that? Am I really open to being engaged on these things? Or do I just say I am, but in my actions and maybe in the past, in the way I've responded to it, I've trained people to just leave me alone and not bring me any challenges. And that is not the type of quality that inspires confidence, either from your followers or from the people who are upper management who will decide, okay, this is the type of person that other people want to follow, right? When they ask, they'll be like, not sure, because they don't seem to really be engaged. So if you think about that and work on that, it will really help with your executive presence. So in our next episode, we're going to take a quick detour from the 6 degrees, and we're going to talk about some myths of executive presence. Myths. I don't know why I can't say that word today. And we'll talk about some things that executive presence is not. Because I find often what stops us from understanding something and learning something is not just that we don't know what it is, it's that we have all these false ideas about what it is that actually stop us from understanding what it is. So we'll go over some common myths that will, myths that will really help you better understand and execute on your executive presence. So if you are enjoying this episode, if you're getting value out of it and you haven't done so already, as a favor, please subscribe. And if you like, click on the bell just so you'll be notified the next time an episode comes out. So you won't have to remember or go back. You'll automatically get notified. So it's less stress, less headache for you. And I look forward to seeing you on our next episode. My name is Joe Kwon, the Connection Counselor. Remember, you can change your life one connection at a time. Thank you. For more information about how to elevate your career, go to connectioncounselor.com for my blog, podcast, and free guides. If you'd like to find out more about how to make executive presence work for you or your team, email me at joe@connectioncounselor.com. Thank you.